Peter, how you doing?
John Davidson has a neurological condition known as Tourettes Syndrome.
The right-hand side. Fuck off!
It's not known what triggers Tourette's, but in its most severe form, it causes violent body movements and outbursts of obscene language.
Fuck off! Hey! Oh, God.
In 1988, at the age of 16, John featured in a documentary at a time when Tourette's was a little-known condition.
Fuck up. Just keep thinking why it has to be me and not folk that are criminals or deserve it.
In 2002, aged 30, we caught up with John and his continual struggle with Tourette's. There's still no cure, but 7 years on, has our increased understanding and acceptance of Tourette's made life any easier for John?
If you ask anybody the question, what's the funniest illness or the funniest condition you've ever come across, most people will say Tourette's, because it's bizarre, because it's like a wild madness.
Known as tics, John's involuntary movements and sounds are often brought on by everyday situations most of us wouldn't think twice about. Even a shopping trip with his mate Tommy Trotter can put John under pressure.
Hey! Come in, it's open.
To have a tic come into my head, I'm trying my best to hold it in.
Shagging! Fuck off!
Suck my lip. I get this churning feeling inside, I get this pressure in my chest, I get hot and cold sweats, and until I actually release that tic, those feelings don't subside.
Jinky! Oh, Jenny! Sorry. All right.
The next time you feel you're going to sneeze...
Shit! No.
Try your best not to sneeze. Eventually you have to sneeze. And that's similar to what it's like. You know that it's coming, you're trying to stop it, but you can't.
Sorry. Sorry. Hello, dear. How are you doing?
It makes you feel really, really embarrassed sometimes.
Fuck! Oh.
It can make you feel ashamed. Sometimes you feel guilt for no reason.
Yeah, that's brilliant. OK, thank you now. Bye, Harriet.
I can be lying in here watching TV and suddenly think, I've done something wrong. What is it? What is it? And I don't know.
Also featured with John 7 years ago was 8-year-old Greg Story. Greg's Tourette's first appeared in the summer of 2000.
It felt like my head was bulging with pain and the pain was starting from my little head and going to the edges of the room. And it really hurt. Yes, there was definitely something in the air.
7 years now. Yes, I'm 15, so let's see. Because I was 8 when I last did it. It's a very long time ago. I remember a lot of people, after they'd seen it, talking to me about it. Saying, oh, it was really good, or it showed her how my tics were like, and things like that.
"7 years ago, Greg left his private school because his parents couldn't afford to pay for the extra assistance he required in class.
Woodley was excellent. The reason I left there was because... was because we couldn't get my special needs.
After 3 years of applications, Greg's local education authority finally agreed to fund a teaching assistant for him at his state school. He's now studying for his GCSEs at Rydale School in North Yorkshire.
It's the end of unit test. Next lesson, so you can make a note of that in your planners, distance time graphs, velocity time graphs.
Oh my God! My tic, I always see it as being not someone else, but another part of me which I can control, which I don't want anything to do with. So I just talk about it instead of about. In a sense, a bit like Gollum, he always says we, like him and his conscience with the ring, but I'm a bit like me and the tick. I don't like it, so I don't, in a sense, affiliate with it.
So we all hold the card up at the same time. So, first one. When two objects interact, only one of them experiences a force. Think about it for a few seconds. Don't show other people what you're going to do. Right, let's have your cards held up quickly, please. Right.
Ready, steady, cook.
Good, Matthew. It is false. Can you tell us why?
Cook. Ready, steady, cook.
Right, next one.
I've got used to it. Most people in my classes have got used to it. Maybe laugh at some of the things it says sometimes, but everybody ignores it, as if it was like the wind or something like that. Something insignificant.
Right, hold your cards up quickly, please.
Chicken!
Hold it up. Come on, who's not making a decision?
You're wrong.
Right, again. It is true.
A girl at school say to me, the good thing is you're normal underneath. It's not just a Tourette's, you're able to do like all my artwork and my drumming and my running, and it doesn't get in the way. And I thought that was the nicest thing, one of the nicest things I've ever had said to me, because she just basically accepted me for what I was.
Okay, right.
Fucking idiot. Prick. Shit. Oh, you cunt.
School wasn't easy for John, and at 15, the age Greg is now, he left without qualifications. He went on to study horticulture on a youth training scheme in Galashiels.
Yes. Foxy. Cunt.
We don't know who that one is.
When we last caught up with John, he was working as a caretaker in the local community centre. 7 years on, he remains in his hometown and holds down the same job.
To work, Tilly Lily. You ready? Come on then, let's go.
Work is a 10-minute walk away from his home.
Hey! Fuck off! Shut it!
Even going from here to my work some mornings is a huge achievement because mentally in my head I'm envisaging what's going to happen.
Come on, Till. Roddy!
I'm envisaging people are going to stare. I'm envisaging people are going to hear me shout a specific thing and think, what a weirdo, what a strange guy.
Dad!
Now, what I don't like about having to cross the main road is that if I have to stand at the side of the road, because the traffic's busy, I then think, I'm going to stand here, I'm going to start jumping up and down, I'm going to start giving people the fingers.
Hey!
I'm ticking, I'm jumping, kicking my leg. And the whole time that I'm doing that, my brain is telling me somebody's staring at you, somebody's watching you, somebody's drove past and laughed. I don't like that feeling, I don't like that thought.
This is the kind of next bit that I dislike, is because I have like an urge to tell Tilly to cross the road when there's actual cars coming as well, but luckily she's well trained and that she's not going to, run across the road, but I get all these really unwanted thoughts in my head that she's going to run, there's a car going to knock her over and stuff, so I have to be really careful and really kind of concentrate at this bit. Hey, wait here. Wait here. Wait. Come. Go on then. Tilly, no. Stay. Stay. Go on then. Wait. Wait. Come on then. Peace! Come on then, good girl. Here. This way. Go on then, up the stairs. Just go in, guys, just go in.
In 2002, John was also doing voluntary youth work at the community centre.
That's 19 years I've been in the same job. I've never really been out of work since I left school. It's something I think to be proud of, and I feel part of something up at work as well.
Dad!
I feel like an ownership to that, to the job and to the centre. It's my place, and I feel safe there and I feel comfortable. Oh, getting a paw. Oh, nice. Fuck!
John's now an active member of the charity Tourettes Scotland, which didn't exist until 1994. He organises weekend get-togethers so adults and children with Tourette's can share their experiences.
Guys! Fucking hell.
He's currently preparing a get-together for 8 adults and their partners.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the weekend. I'm really looking forward to some people coming. Guy called Chopper, who's coming, Stuart. He's coming up from Newcastle. His condition is very much similar to mine. A lot of his tics are very similar to mine, quite loud, quite verbaceous, you know. Can give you a fright. And the really good thing about it, which I enjoy, is that when we're together, we feel some kind of harmony. You know, there's a connection somewhere. Filthy fags! It's an absolutely fantastic weekend and I really look forward to it. And I get so high and excited that people are coming that are the same as me, that aren't going to judge me for who I am and judge me because of my condition, because they're living with it at the same time. And I think that's so important. Come on then, you going in? Coming in? And get a drink of water. Come on.
Okay.
The onset of Greg's Tourette's happened suddenly, shortly after his 7th birthday.
I was 7 and I started squeaking. I couldn't stop it at all. I started twitching, you know, and, like, my hands had to go shake. I was so scared at the time, you know, why am I doing this? It was just strange to not be able to control my thoughts and my actions and my speech. And I found it very, you know, distressing.
At the time, Greg's father, Paul, had never even heard of Tourette's Syndrome.
It's all right, Greg.
Not too long after Greg was diagnosed with his Tourette's, I had quite a low. And I went to saw my GP, and after about 20 minutes, he said, I know exactly what's your problem, Paul. He said, you're grieving for the son you've lost. And as soon as he said it, I knew he was right. Absolutely right. Because Greg had changed.
In 2000, Greg's mother Kim started a video diary to record his symptoms.
Greg's tics came on with such onslaught and such violence. And it literally went from a child who was very self-sufficient at that age to one who was struggling to wash, was struggling to dress, couldn't pick up his fork, couldn't eat, couldn't say what he wanted to say.
My experiences after I was diagnosed were not good at all. I remember asking my mum and dad to kill me, you know, on several occasions.
We won't give up trying though, will we? We'll find something.
At the time, it was awful, but it's in the past. Those thoughts are no longer there. You have to look at the positive aspects. Because if you didn't, you'd just sort of sink into a mire. And there's no point doing that. That's no benefit for the kids. It's no benefit for me.
Did you say something? Okay then. You going again?
Over the last 8 years, Greg's tics have frequently changed.
After the last film, I went through a very, very bad patch. I used to totally collapse, go like a rag doll. I couldn't move at all, couldn't even talk. You know, I'd be like that. The only bit I could move was my eyes. The only way I could communicate was blinking.
Can you blink? If you've heard me, blink, blink, blink. Good lad. Don't panic, it'll pass.
That was really awful. Seriously awful. But that's faded now, thankfully, yeah. If I was to count how many tics I had a day, not including inside my head, the vocal tics, my twitches, my motor tics, anything like that, I can have up to 1,000 a day, easily. Absolutely, 1,000 or more a day, on average. And that's on, in a sense, a good day. When I have a bad day, it's non-stop. I'm just like, twitch, twitch, scream, scream, and chicken! Like that. The best day I ever had in my life was I screamed once. That was it. And the ones in my head, it was basically like a buzzing. And that was the best day I'd ever had in my life. Ever. I was about 10, and a really nice summer. I remember having really bad tics, and I couldn't enjoy the summer that much, and then I just had this one perfect day. It was just, when you see like television adverts. The grass was perfectly green, the sun was out, there was only like the nice wispy clouds. A perfect day with sunshine in the summer, and nothing bad happened. Unfortunately, I've never had anything like that since. So, I'm never totally free like I was then. I remember sometimes when I get really, depressed because I'm having a bad, I just think, right, one day there will be another day like that. That would be a good day.
So rather than do the relaxation, we'll try the relaxation first, see how far it goes, right? And then we can go into...
John's Tourette weekend gets underway with a relaxation session.
Picture in your mind a beautiful green field. Think, what's the length of the grass that you're standing in? Is it long grass?
I'm up to my knees in fucking cow part.
Is there a wind blowing? And in front of you is a beautiful big fountain. It's gorgeous. And there's a reclining chair there. And when you're ready, if you get up from the recliner...
Johnny Davidson!
John's friend Chopper and his girlfriend Jo arrive at John's get-together.
John, I heard John was in the toilet.
Chopper! Oh! Did you smell the pies? They've just been delivered.
First up, a session on disability forms, run by Heather Smith from the Citizens Advice Bureau.
I don't think this lady's ever come across even one person, never mind a group of people with Tourette's, so I'm worried that I'm going to start shouting, bullshit, you're talking shite, something like that.
Was it?
Especially now that Chopper's here, we'll probably trigger each other's tics. When Chopper shouts things, I'll tick back and it goes back and forth, But we'll see how it goes.
Right, hello, I'm Heather from Citizens Advice Bureau in Galashiels. Don't know if you've been to your local Citizens Advice Bureau ever for anything.
Yeah, I have.
Right, they're all over the place. We give advice to anybody.
Being around other people with Tourette's can often make John's tics more frequent. As he's sitting next to Chopper, he puts a key ring in his mouth to try and stop himself from shouting out.
I googled your neurological condition, and there wasn't a lot out there that actually helped at all.
Fuck off, nosy.
Absolutely. And we sound as advisors like we're asking really nosy questions. But if we don't ask the really nosy questions, we don't know the answers.
That's right.
And there will be questions for Tourette's that are very specific. And they're looking at points that you score for what you can't do. But they've taken away some of the easier points to score. Absolutely. Coping with social situations. Okay.
Chopper dyed his pubes ginger.
I'm just going through the list. Don't shoot the messenger.
He dyed his pubes ginger.
The next one is propriety of behaviour with other people. There's one for has unpredictable outbursts of aggressive, disinhibited or bizarre behaviour.
That's Tourette's in one.
Is it sufficient to cause disruption to others on a daily basis?
Yes.
Or no reasonable person would be expected to tolerate the behaviour?
Fuck off!
Quite. That's not a very good wording for it. But there is somebody who's actually
Your
sat
dogs
down
get tats
in the law and thought it through at last. And I'll leave that with you so that you can have a look at it.
You're very helpful.
Then there's more on. Did you mean it or not? That's the dealing with it. So I'll leave. That's how the points work now, and they are better than the old points. Everyone on incapacity benefit is going to be moved on.
You've got Tourette's by proxy now.
No.
I'm a qualified dispensing optician. Most recently was working for a small independent opticians with 4 practices, and I was employed as a general manager.
Are people working? Are you on benefits?
I'm on benefits.
You're self-employed. Are you on benefits?
Yeah. I think going from having a job with a reasonable responsibility to ending up not working, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, a bit of a come down, especially if somebody asks you what you do and you say, oh, I'm unemployed. Well, you know, I was working since I was 17. But the flip side of that is I couldn't cope with it anymore.
What you're going to have to do is have regular interviews at the job centre where they will...
I've been.
You've been, absolutely. Regular interviews.
Probably about 33, 34, and I was sitting at home watching television one evening, and my head just jerked to the side, and I thought, hang on a minute, what was that? It was quite odd. And the next thing that came along was I was out in the car with my 2 boys, and we were driving around a car park, and just as I was turning the wheel going around the corner, I went and made a sort of snorting noise like a pig. I was thinking to myself, that's very odd, what's caused that? And it quite quickly went from that to the stage where I was having physical tics, sort of my chin was jutting, my head was jerking, and it sort of deteriorated over the next year and a half to the stage that I'm at the moment.
And they're looking at walking, standing, sitting, bending, kneeling, reaching, picking things up, problems with speech.
Yeah.
On the speech issues, you get 15 points for speech can't be understood by strangers. Absolutely. You get 9 points for strangers have great difficulty understanding speech.
Pakistanis and Iraqis.
You get 6 points for strangers have some difficulty understanding speech, and if none of those apply, you don't have any problems with speech according to these rules.
I suppose at the time, at the beginning, I thought it was strange but quite interesting. I was wondering what's going on here. But as you begin to live with it, I absolutely hate it. I hate feeling like such a lower class of citizen, just a freak, a basket case.
So there's other questions like, do you know if you spilt something? And if you spilt something, can you clean it up?
Turning the cooker on, I'll have an urge to put my hand flat on the hot plate.
I get stabby with knives in the kitchen. Somebody's walking past.
It's a really difficult call, though, because arguably, if you could be a risk to yourself at any time, then it's arguable that benefits-wise, you should be getting the maximum benefits, because at any given moment, you might need a minder. But you might not...
Arthur Daly!
Quite right. But you might not want to say that about yourself. It might be that you think, nope, I'm independent, I don't want to do that.
I've got gay porn on my house. Haven't you, really?
The next one is...
When I feel I'm going to say it, I try and stop myself, but it just feels as if I have to say it. It's like somebody's forcing it out of me.
Hey, fuck! Like John and Greg, 1 in 10 people with Tourette's have the uncontrollable urge to swear.
Fuck off! It's very slippery. Sometimes it says swear words. Like, should I say them? Shut your fucking gob. Sometimes I don't like that one at all. And sometimes it says, shut up, you idiot. And if I do those, I feel like just screaming my head off until they stop.
7 years on, Greg still swears, but he also has a number of new tics he has to deal with.
Welcome to Whitby. Yes, very interesting. Very cold, as usual. We're just here for a walk. Spray. Chicken! Oh, sorry. Chicken! Chicken!
Chicken!
My tick just said chicken one day and it stuck. I will never understand why it said it. I remember it said it in maths the first time. Yeah. Chicken! It was like... That was random.
Chicken! Chicken, chicken. Goodbye!
I've had chicken, shrew, fish, and F a doodle do.
Chicken!
And then I also have various other swearing ones. To do with chickens. Fuck off! There we go. It tries to mimic a chicken. Fuck off! Fuck off! Just talking about it brings... Fuck off! Right. Yes.
Chicken!
In his early 30s, John would often spend time in his local pub.
Alcohol makes my tics worse. I've less control of my tics. Sometimes I've knocked drinks over, lashing my hand out. I've grabbed somebody by the testicles. I've touched a women's breast before, and there have been times where I've got into fights in pubs. There's times where I've been asked to leave pubs by the management because of my behaviour.
Somebody's been eating the stools, look.
A stool! I'm not comfortable in a pub, and it doesn't matter how many people say to me, "You're okay, don't worry about the tics." No one's bothered. I'm still bothered. I still don't like to do it.
It's only after you've done it, I tell you. 2 shots!
For John and Chopper, one of the benefits of the Tourette's weekend is the chance to relax, surrounded by others who understand the condition.
John's a cheating.
Cheating hard.
Chopper and his girlfriend Jo have been together for 2 years.
There's not enough gay men.
It's probably more upsetting for Stuart swearing and shouting at somebody than what it is for that person, because he's so worried about upsetting people, offending people, swearing at people.
Fuck off!
And it's an illness, you know. It's something his brain's making him do. He doesn't choose to do it. So you just have to really try and bear in mind that that's not him, that's Mr. Tourette, we call him. That wasn't you, that was Mr. Tourette, you know. And Mr. Tourette and him are separate.
Big fat arse, sweaty bit.
With Stuart, it's when he's seeing the hurtful tics, calling you fat, ugly, all sorts. You just think, oh, it's not him, it's Mr. Tourette saying it, not him, because I know he doesn't think that, you know, so...
I'm a rapist. Did you put a bother?
If he tics, I love you, or you'll shout to the kids, I love your mum, and things like that, or you're beautiful, and then you think, he was thinking that, he meant that.
It's a Jap's eye.
Where some of the tics come from, eh? It's like our own Tourette's vocabulary inside our head. We should write the Oxford Dictionary of Tourette.
What are you saying, we are not as bad as you, are you?
Aye, I think you're worse.
Jo and Chopper met through a Tourette's website after Chopper's marriage ended.
The fact that Jo was a member of the forum because her son Nathan has got Tourette's and ADHD, it allowed her to sort of have an insight into the condition.
We just clicked straight away and felt comfortable straight away. So it's like, yeah, I don't like the cliche soulmates, but it's like your best friend. Best friend, you can tell him anything, so yeah, it's a brilliant relationship.
Do you know what? Every single girl in the school loves me. Mary says I'm cute, somebody else says I'm snuggly, somebody else says I'm cuddly, and somebody else says I'm like a teddy bear. That's really funny.
What tricks can you do? Which I can copy.
Lift your leg up.
Can you jump from forward to backwards? You know, if I went up to a person and said, oh, would you like to go out with me? I wouldn't be thinking, oh, don't they want to go out with me because of Tourette's? I'd just be thinking about myself, not the Tourette's. You know, if they said, no, because you got Tourette's, I'd think, right, I've made bad choice.
Like jumps and stuff.
I'm wary of it, but I'm not totally restricted by it. It's not the be-all and end-all. Like, ow.
Maybe we could do like a side step.
If I'm not totally friends with them, I find it hard to speak to a girl or boy, but I find girls slightly harder to talk to. Not like a different species or anything.
Might get married, might not. You know, I might be married a bit, but we don't see each other often. We just see them about 89 days a year.
I wouldn't say, oh, look at her, she's sexy. I just, I'd be like, yes, she's very nice. And then take it from there, slowly build it up to, yes, you are very pretty. I'd rather get into a proper relationship. I'm one of the sensible people. I like a couple of people, and that's all I'll say.
Seven years ago, when John was last filmed, he found it difficult to approach women.
You know, I mean, it's not the kind of thing you go up to a female, introduce yourself and say, oh, hi, I'm John, how are you, kind of thing, you want a drink, and then suddenly shout fuck in her face or spit in her face or something, you know.
Despite increased awareness, it hasn't become any easier for John to find a partner.
Ginger pubes, you fucking liar.
I see Chopper with a partner and other people within the group have got partners, and I've just found it so hard to find somebody that I feel like I can trust and that loves me for who I am, likes me for who I am.
I think it's difficult for anybody who's late 30s, early 40s to find a partner. And it's so much more difficult when you've got the problems that John and I have got. But the sort of personality that John's got, he would certainly make a lovely partner for somebody because he's so kind and caring and considerate, not unlike myself. If he could meet somebody who could look beyond the Tourette's symptoms, that he would be able to find somebody that he could kind of get on with and settle down with.
Another day, man. Maybe that's not going to happen, but people say to me, and they always, say, oh, it'll be fine. Maybe somebody in the, the right person will come along eventually, but I mean, how long have I got to wait, I talk about, having children as well. I would love to have kids. I love children. All my brothers and sisters, they've all got kids apart from me, and I just feel left out sometimes. Sometimes you get very lonely, and sometimes it's nice just to get a hug and just be told that you're okay and life's not as bad as what you're kind of, your mind's trying to tell you that it is.
Nice to see
you later again, pal. Bye. See you later. Catch you later. Have a safe journey home. Aye. Cheers. I'm sad. Thanks!
Shortly after the documentary in 2002, John and Greg met several times, but they haven't seen each other since 2005.
When I last seen him, he was just a little boy. And now he's a young man, and I'm really intrigued to find out how he's coping with his Tourette's and how he deals with it on a day-to-day basis.
John's coming. Yes, very good. Looking forward to it. We met up because of the Tourette's. In a sense, it brought us together. But it's gone past that. It's not just the Tourette's. It brought us together, so it was one good thing to come out of it. Yeah, probably the only good thing.
In 2 weeks' time, John wants to visit Greg in Yorkshire during the school half-term to find out how he's getting on. At junior school at the age of 8, Greg discovered that playing the cornet helped suppress his tics.
Do we have a go at this one? Number 8. Here we go then. Let's have some ease. After 3. 1. Hang on. 1, 2, 3.
With the cornet. I had to stop that, unfortunately. I just couldn't learn. I then moved on to the piano, and I found that hard because I couldn't read music. And that was mainly the problem with the cornet. But then I started playing the drums. Thought, I should, hopefully I'll have luck, third time lucky. And yes, drums have fitted perfectly. Once you've learned how to hold the drumsticks, and I can read music, because in a sense a line on the stave is a drum, and you just have to hit it. It's perfect. I'm definitely I'm not gonna quit the drums at all.
We come here every lunchtime and we start just jamming, really, and we get something.
The thing is, we enjoy playing music,
and it's going to help us for our GCSE as well. When
we do a performance, we can do a group performance. So obviously practicing will help, won't it? So when we come to the group performance, me and Sam will be able to do it, really easily, even with Jacob.
In 2002, at the age of 30, John looked back on his difficult time at secondary school.
It was almost like a prison. It was like somewhere I was forced to come every single day, and I just hated it. I'd make any excuse not to come. When I was 15, I had just recently been diagnosed with the condition. And at my time of life then, there wasn't the understanding for me as a young person who's got some kind of condition that makes them different.
When I first started the school, I was getting teased a lot because I blinked. And then, from then on, I never used to want to go to school. Because of getting teased. People just look at me and give me a funny look. They used to always come after me and shout things and that. And I knew instantly, as soon as I'd start speaking to them, they'd just laugh or say, oh,
When John was on his youth training scheme in the 80s, most people hadn't heard of Tourettes Syndrome, let alone had any understanding of the condition. During lunch break, John ate his meals alone and became increasingly isolated.
I don't often think back to when I was at school and think about what it was like, because they're memories that I would like to kind of let go of and move on from. I had no friends when I was 15. I had nobody. I've no qualifications, they wouldn't let me sit exams. Simply because they didn't understand, they didn't know how to deal with the condition.
Sometimes I just feel like everyone hates you. Just because I've got this, I just feel like everyone hates you. And
it can totally destroy you. And I would hate to think anybody would have to go through that again. I sometimes feel some of the dreams that I used to have as a youngster, I've not been able to fulfil.
Yes, that was my tick again. It's a work in progress, as in a lot of progress to do, isn't there? We just need someone to sing. Nisha knows all the lyrics, don't you?
I know the first verse.
I know woohoo. I know that bit. Me and Sam have been trying to think of a name. And the name of the band is The Brotherhood.
I think one of my greatest pleasures is seeing him develop, particularly since he went to secondary school, this teenage life that he's got. The kids that he associates with are so accommodating to him. They're so accepting of what Greg is because that's Greg. You know, they've known him for many years.
First time I heard Greg's tics, I thought he was like a right rebel. I thought it was him doing it and he was just trying to like be like half the other people in the year. But when I found out that it was his Tourette's, I was like, oh. And
that's even cooler, according to you.
I don't mind them because like he can't help it, and I'm just like, well, he lives with it, so why can't I? It's not like jokes getting at him, it's the ones that we all laugh at.
Yeah. You know, I'll have a tic and it's like, oh God, that was really funny, isn't it? It'll probably be me starting laughing about the tic, won't it?
Yeah. And we actually find it funny, but we don't want to laugh unless Greg's not happy about it, so when Greg starts laughing, we all burst into tears.
Unlike Greg at 15, John didn't have supportive friends.
Being 15 was absolutely horrendous. I blamed myself because Mum and Dad's marriage broke up. There was a lot of tics that I had that I think my mum and dad and my family doubted that were tics. There was a lot of doubt there.
We sometimes say to him, for goodness sake, John, you know, you can't, you don't have to do that, you know, stop it. And he can't, really. When you stop and think about it, you think, oh, I shouldn't have lost my temper, you know, really, he can't help it. But it's difficult to live with. It's terrible to live with.
When John was 20, his mother left Galashiels and moved to work in England.
When John starts on about things in the past, I usually say to him that, you know, just to forget about it, that just move on and get on with his life, because that's the best thing to do. You've got to be positive. You can't keep thinking negative thoughts and going back to how things were when they were bad. You've got to move on and see how good life is now.
I tend to get on better with my siblings now, and my mum, my dad. I have more contact with them, but I find that it's one of these things that they've accepted. I've got Tourette's and that's it, simple as that. I find that sometimes quite difficult. I would like to talk more about it with them and stuff, but they just want to move on, which I can understand. Have you got shampoo and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've got the
Have you got your polygrip for your teeth?
When John was a teenager, he met Dottie.
Got a right good selection.
Since his own mother moved away, Dottie has helped John with everyday tasks.
I quite like them, but it's okay.
I would go with my mum, but I felt it was something I was forced into having to do because Mum didn't want to leave me in the house and stuff. And I absolutely hated coming shopping, but now the change is that I've become more confident, and in a way I've got more used to the idea of coming into the supermarket, so I actually quite enjoy sometimes my shopping trips. Yeah, but as I say, good days and bad days, ups and downs, you know.
John would be about 16 when I first met him.
Oh, Dottie.
Snuck.
Oh, you all right? You all right?
Just give us a minute.
Fuck. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did I catch your nose?
It was a really traumatic time in our lives because I had been diagnosed with cancer and had been given, at that time, 3 months to live.
I didn't realise how close you were there. Oh, God.
Okay.
I'll never forget the first time John came. I was in bed, I was really quite unwell at the time, and he heard the front door open and Murray came in and said, I've brought somebody home, and I said, that's fine. And John's first exclamation was, ha ha, you're going to die, as they say in the borders, you're going to die.
Falafel.
Did you want it as a dip?
Oh, yeah.
See, I didn't like it.
That's made with chickpeas. Do you not like? I thought you liked chickpeas. You all right? Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Where do you want to go now, then?
He came to stay for a weekend, and we have a family joke that John came for the weekend and stayed for 20-odd years.
Thanks very much indeed.
Okay, thank you now.
Thanks very much indeed. Thanks now. Ta.
All right.
I'm grand. Have you got the card key?
No, you've got it.
I'm going to get you.
The aim of the game is to try and hit those funny white things. Oh, Eleanor!
Greg often goes 10-pin bowling with his parents and younger sister Eleanor.
And the back marker is coming up.
The noisy environment helps drown out the sound of his tics, so they attract less attention.
One.
Yay!
Uno.
Well done.
Uno.
You did exactly as you were told.
Go on then.
Because obviously Mum and Dad know about my Tourette's, they understand very well. With them it's a bit more reassuring. Just having them there, it feels more comfortable.
Well done.
Go for it.
You're winning.
They understand if I got into trouble they could help. It's a parent's job to be helpful and, support you, and Mum and Dad do that excellently.
Stylishly shit. Sorry. Sorry, Mum. Sorry.
It's just really important, I think, to get out and about, and so Greg feels confident being out in, amongst the public, and realising that he can cope, and that in situations like this... He just mixes in with all the noise, so he's not really that noticeable. So he just can come out and just be who he is. I'm not embarrassed about Greg's tics, and I don't see why he should be embarrassed. And if people look across and they see that we're just a normal family, except that Greg's ticking, they're just going to accept that that's how he is. If we made an issue of it through our behaviour, then it would start to cause problems. Oh no, I'm coming second.
Only just.
I've got to do something about it.
Luckily there's no one next to us, so don't have to worry. Miss, sorry. She's gonna kill me.
Oh, looking good. Eleanor?
Time again.
Hey!
That'll be your plate.
Whoops a daisy.
Is that the unbreakable plastic plate?
It actually is.
Half a fucking plate now.
Just get that.
Okay. John, do you want me to put yours out?
Aye.
Is this yours?
John lives on his own, but spends at least 3 evenings a week with Dottie and her family.
I'm a fart git.
Right. Okay.
It's not about replacing my family, it's about feeling part of something here as well. Because my family have got their own lives and they've got, their own families. Mum moved away when she remarried and stuff, so I was kind of left on my own. And I suppose I've adopted Dorothy and Christopher and Murray and Roddy and Dawn as well. I've kind of adopted them as my kind of surrogate family kind of thing,
Shut up. Thump you one. Now, come on, behave.
At the age of 14, John developed a tic that makes him spit when he eats.
God's sake.
My own family, in the back in the days of the kind of latter years of the 80s, 89, 90, they found it very difficult to sit and have a meal with me. Sitting at a dining table, I find almost impossible. But sitting in an environment like this, it's more relaxed, it's not as formal, and I can turn my back. If I'm spitting directly towards Dorothy, I would turn. If it's towards Chris, I would turn. And
we organise the seating without really thinking about it. So, like, John's like 2/3 turned away from me just now.
Yeah.
So in case he spits, it's less likely to happen if he's turned slightly away. We arrange the room just unconsciously. We don't have to think about it.
Find a stick. What's this? What's this? What's this? What is it? Walkies. Where's the stick? Come on then.
When John is alone, his tics often subside. A walk with his dog Tilly is part of his daily routine.
I enjoy being outside and outdoors. I always have all my life. I've always been next to the river and stuff, and it's a little bit of respite for me. It's just absolutely fantastic to be able to come and just relax and, take in the silence. If I was aware that other people were around, the silence does my head in because I know I'm going to tic. But yet, if I know there's no one else around, there's no boundaries to that I can step over and there's no one sitting next to me to tick and hit, there's no one to hear me, then silence is okay. Go and find it. It makes me feel really calm and dead easy going and stuff. You know, there's not a lot of times where I can get respite from the condition. I like going and standing next to the river. You put that one down, drop it. Because there's an element of danger and an element of getting wet and the river's in a little bit in spate at the moment. Go on then, go and get it. I have this conscious urge to jump into the water. Jump in. The tics tend to be negative, but there are also some positives that we can have a laugh about, especially when we're having pub quizzes and stuff at the centre. Something like playing charades. I'm never ever the person that stands up and has to act out what film it is or whatever, because I can't keep it to myself. You know, I'll stand up and I'll say, Jaws! And I'll go, right, that's my turn over. To have a laugh, it's a good release to get that tension off and to realise that other people are having a laugh with me, but not at me, you know?
John rarely leaves Galashiels, but today he's travelling to Yorkshire with Dottie to visit Greg and his family.
Oil! Looks like it. Oil on the road. Over the last kind of 7 years, I've just had to learn to accept it. That's something I'm not going to be able to do is to drive myself. And again, that I'm not, you know, not safe to be sitting as a passenger in the front seat of the car. Aye, I'll not have it right.
In the old days, John would always travel in the front seat with his friend Dave Henderson.
Oh, sort your mirror. I've got a hell of a habit of doing that.
Good, mate. Yeah, actually, that was quite good, yeah, because actually my mother was a bit out anyway.
So because I knocked it earlier on.
Did you?
That's the worst thing about it.
Oh, penalty.
I used to always insist on going in the front, and it was like, oh, I'm fine. But there's one or two occasions where I've grabbed the steering wheel and caused the car to swerve, to toot the horn, or to pull the handbrake on, and it's caused the car to skid and stuff. So to make me more at ease, make the situation easier, I've decided that it's safer for me to sit in the back. Sorry, Doc.
Sit back, right?
Sorry.
Okay, put your hands back in the thing.
When I'm in the car, I get quite ticky to begin with until I kind of calm down. I tend to wrap the seatbelt in my hand and stuff. Gonna crash! Oh. Hey! Border between England and Ireland.
You've got your camera, haven't you, darling?
Yay, we're here. Crash! At last.
Now.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello,
We
Tilly.
meet at last.
How are you?
I'm all right, son. Yourself?
Yeah,
Doing
fine.
You're excited to see us?
No,
you're not excited.
Go away,
Right.
go away.
We'll try that one again then.
John and Greg occasionally talk on the phone, but John hasn't visited Greg and his family in 4 years.
Are you all right?
I'm all well.
Yeah.
You're looking well.
Very much, thank you.
Hi, darling. All the lovey-doveys lit in.
Oh,
sorry, son, all right?
Yeah.
Ellen's at the pony.
All right.
No one in the ark. Wow. Amazing.
I've come to my humble abode. You could say that.
You've got the best teenager's bedroom I've ever seen, man. That's amazing. Right, go on then, have a shot then. Let me see you playing. It's brilliant.
It is okay.
Mad. There's something about the drums. I'll have a shot. How do I hold them?
Right.
Like that and like that.
One of my numerous prayers. A lot of people will look at us too and think, people see Tourette's as swearing. And yes, John does swear, and my tics make me swear as well. But that's not all that we do. we see past that. It's like, there's us, and then the Tourette's is like a layer around us, a bit like a layer of greaseproof paper. It's translucent. You can see the person behind it, but you can't see their features. You could just see their outline. If you imagine the greaseproof paper as the Tourette's, that's what it does. That's what I feel it does. And people see the greaseproof paper. Me and John, we can, in a sense, remove the greaseproof paper, take it away so we can see the person underneath.
That's mental.
Oh, excuse
Look at
me.
that steam engine, that's lovely, isn't it? What's going backward?
That's one a bit like what I've bought.
That's right, yeah.
I'm a chicken. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Yes, you are. Excuse me.
Chicken! Now I feel quite confident that things are quite easy for Greg because of the understanding and the level of acceptance that the people around about him have given him. I do feel that Greg's life, I think, is going to be a success for him. And I hope so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm a chicken.
I think he's going through a patch of life which is slightly trying. He's sort of on a thin line. If his tics got better, he'd feel a lot better. But if his tics got worse, I think it could really hurt. He'd find it hard.
I'm a chicken.
I'm a chicken fucker.
Until new treatments are found, Greg and John will never be free of Tourette's. But living in a world which increasingly understands and accepts the condition will hopefully allow them both to get on with their lives.
I sometimes think that in my head, what would I be without the tic? I think I would miss the tic. I would miss the Tourette. I would feel lonely. But at the same time, a huge part of me wishes just for one day, one measly day, to get up from our bed, to come down the stair, have my breakfast, have a cup of tea, walk to work without ticking, without having to worry about people staring at me, right through to the whole day, and come home and think, I don't know what I would think. I don't know how I would deal with it.
I know I will have it for the rest of my life, and it will always bother me. And that is really one of the only constants I can really keep. Yeah, it's very hard-hitting. When you think, right, oh yeah, I've got this thing. I've got it for the rest of my life. I can't get rid of it. I just think, right, I'll cope with it.
When I'm feeling down and I'm feeling a bit shite and a bit sorry for myself, I do stop myself and think, well, look what I've achieved. I've got my house, I've got my garden that I love. I've got my job, I've got my dog. And I think really, to be honest with you, I think I've actually got a good quality of life, really.
If you or someone you know is affected by Tourette's or would like details of information and support, visit bbc.co.uk/action line. If you don't have access to the internet, you can call the BBC Action Line in confidence on 0800 066 066. Lines are open 24 hours a day. Calls are free from a landline, but mobile operators will charge for these calls.